Hey guys, this is Dardamos with Dardamos Dominions. I'm back in here with a couple of my favorite co-hosts. Gaslov, say hello.
Hello.
He's the Van player, if you didn't remember, and we have the Statist player with us as well. Say hi, Grippa.
Yellow.
Once again, Mandar, you're in.
Indeed I am. Thanks for having me.
And I think that you are in a competition with Novelle for being in the most episodes. Say hi, Novelle.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay, so we are moving in. We don't have any messages this time, but we're going to go right into the combats. So, we have looks like Vanheim face planted. Airmore has moved forward again and has destroyed a PD dump. Airmore is attacking forward. Statist is attacking forward. Ulm attacking forward. It looks like a Pangea is finally on the assault. They're finally getting... Yeah. Statist, again, is moving forward. Statist's army again. Just looking like we haven't had any really big battles, but just a lot of raids. We have an underwater raid from Scalaria against Ulm. Ulm finally got that underwater province, and Scalaria goes and takes it immediately. Vanheim attacks. We have a Dwarven Smith that was caught out. Ouch.
Ooh.
And then we have Dire Wolves. I'm not exactly sure what happened here. It looks like an independent attack. So, let's look at the strategic map and kind of let's go from here and see what's happening. Of note, Ulm is now moving out. I think that this was a prearranged agreement. Was that not correct, Gaslov?
No, not yet. This is when he reached out, and I was trying to get him to stay there, actually, because I wanted Ermor to control Ermor's movements.
Now, of interest, you're moving into Ulmish territory here. Was this just to try to get him to stop, or what was your goal by moving all the way here?
Yeah, that looks like a bad play. I don't know what I'm doing there. That's not something I should be doing. I think the problem is I think they're stuck. I couldn't cross the mountains, and so I figured, I might as well do something with them.
That's fair enough. Statist, you're moving into this independent province. Why are you... Or was this an independent? Oh, no, you're attacking... Wait, you're attacking Vanheim.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's what happened. So, yeah, I am raiding... I am raiding. And then he cut off the income.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, how serious are you with this attack here, Grippa? Is this like a serious thrust down to the south, or...
No, this is me just trying to gobble things up before Ermor can get them. Because at this point, I was certain Van was going down, and I just wanted to grab what I could from Ermor.
I'm guessing this lab here is a random event. Is that correct?
Yes, that was random.
Okay, just a curiosity, why are there no temples on your border with Airmore? Were you trying to not be... Was it just too difficult to get priests here, or how's that working?
I didn't have Ermor's Dominion coming in there really at all. I'm fairly certain that's my Dominion.
That is correct. But to your south, it is Airmorian Dominion.
Yeah, so...
Just a curiosity, Novelle, you have a temple here. Were you trying to produce more troops? Because this was a 200 income site. How aggressive are you in pushing your own dominion in your own lands?
Not too aggressive about it. It's going to work regardless of what I do most of the time. So once it gets to a certain level of candles, I will just add a temple to begin with. But the reason why the temple is there is because that province eventually was starting to die off. And I added the temple to produce priests out of it.
Okay, so you're actually making your independent priests from this province. Is that correct?
Right, and they're making more undead.
So just a curiosity, are you going to try to keep your dominion small, or are you going to try to aggressively push it?
I always like to if I could, I would just keep my dominion basically in my cap circle, because gold is not important, but it's always useful. So the slower my dominion spreads, the happier I am about holding any new lands that I have. It's the reason why when I finished my expansion, I was all the way over there by Ulm and Statist. I was in that cave system originally.
Okay.
It's just because if you go really far out and you're going to get attacked anyway, you're just quickly collecting the gold that you can find over there. this is one of those few games, or probably maybe the only game, where I didn't receive a lot of aggression to begin with.
I did like that. I think that the open diplomacy made things a little interesting. Do you think it was the open diplomacy, or do you think that it was just the way the things, the dice rolled?
Well, no, I think that was probably the definitive factor there, because that's kind of the only, I guess you could say, variable that isn't locked in that way. Most games, that is not the case, but with open diplomacy, it seems as if people don't want to, so I'm okay with that.
Gaslov, was this PD dump from earlier?
Yeah, this was really old. This was actually supposed to catch the last big battle we had, but what ended up happening is he moved to the Northwest Territory with his main army, and he had a small group of lictors that ran into a large where I thought he would attack. And at the time, I had 50 PD there because elephants are pretty decent against undead.
Yeah.
But I had an event that took out 5 of it, and when you've got 50 PD, minus five is expensive.
That's a 250 gold hit there.
Yeah.
Where is your army?
It's dead.
It's dead? Wait, I saw... Well, you've got this big old thing down here, so it's been dead ever since the battle with Airmore here?
No, it's not dead. It's just mostly Einheirs at this point, mages. Like, my vans are pretty depleted. Because, I can only make 5 of them out of my capital a turn. Something I gotta fix on my pretender.
Like you're also losing, it seems to you're losing about a scouting party a turn, or a counter raiding party every single turn. So it's just starting to slowly catch up to you, right?
Yeah, it's really eating into my ability to defend myself.
Do you think that you should have kept your forces together instead, or was this worth it? I think I asked you last time, but I'm kind of curious again.
Well, it's usually not a good idea to keep your forces together. And something that's nice about Vanheim is that you can go raiding, and then when it's time for your big battle, you pull everything back. But It didn't work out for me in this case because he randomly stopped on a well of pestilence.
I would not have expected this move. I think that I think that was a very good point. Why is your army down here and not up against Airmore?
Well, I wanted to. Well, they left. I was I'm not really sure. I can't remember because I was still. There were still major battles going on with Ulm. I think I had just killed his 2 of 3 of his armies, and I wanted to kill this one. But really, yeah, I should be defending myself against Ermor at this point.
I'm assuming that you thought the move was going to be from here into the province that you defended, and you were hoping to knock him out and then move back up.
Yeah, that might have been what I was thinking. Yeah.
Why is it that you didn't go earlier and ask Ulm to stop the war?
Man, I have to go back and read through the chat because I'm
Sorry,
pretty sure
totally
we discussed it.
It's been has it been a month since the game ended? No, it can't have been.
Yeah.
It's like 2 weeks, hasn't it? We've only been making videos for like 4 weeks now.
It's been a minute.
So yeah, but still going back is really. I'm sorry to like drill you on this after the fact, but it's just really interesting to see some of the moves. I think another thing is that this army was out of sight last turn, wasn't it, or was it here?
No, you're right. It was a province behind there, but I do have scouts there. I knew it was there.
Okay, so you knew that it was coming.
What may have happened here is I underestimated the amount of time. Now, granted, I'm on the road, so I think I can move
12, 16. You can get to
if you hit Control M, you can see the numbers.
But it's for my troops, not it's for friendly troops. Like this one should be for.
No, it's objective.
No. Put your cursor there. Hit Control M. Okay, so it tells you. Oh,
No, it's based on my movement, or based on the like this guy can't move, so it turns into 999s. So it's relative based on the unit. It's really important because it'll tell you that when you've got like a guy with like movement, mountain movement or forest movement.
So unselect him and you see it's 26.
Yeah, but remember there's a road here, so it's 4, 8, 12, 16. If he's got 16 movement points, he can get here. If it's 12, he can get here.
No, I only have 10 movement. I only have 10.
Okay, oh, jeez, and yeah, you're getting here. So that's one downside of Einhier's. Mandar, what's your preference? Do you like highly mobile units, or do you like strong, like slower units?
Well, I like mobile units, but honestly, most of the time I just don't recruit troops. Most of the time I just do a lot of raiding with, like, I roll a mage in, he casts 2 elementals, he scoots out of there. I don't really recruit a ton of troops. I guess when I do, they're mostly the strong and slow type.
Okay, sorry. Hi. Balan's going to be listening in on us and silently stalking us. So, let's move on.
Well, I think what's going on here. So I'm starting to remember now. I do realize that the walls are closing in on me, and I think I'm more pretty much giving up my forts up north, and I really just care about controlling my cap circle. Just trying to slow Armor down as much as I can.
Now, this is a tough situation for any player because you need to balance both sides. You've got Airmore coming in from the side, but you also need to deal with this army. I don't think that this is the wrong play, dude. I mean, I think that if you get rid of this, you've gotten rid of every Airmorian force with the exception of this little podunk, but it's in the same area as Airmore, so it looks like a good move. But the Ulmish front is collapsing. I don't see any way that he holds this. Ulm is now... This Scalarian attack is now in Ulm's cap circle. So I think that this is a critical point for Ulm. I want to move up to Pan real quick though, and I want to throw this over to Novelle. He had a big old force right here, and he attacked this. Would you gone after one province or and done the safe move, or would you have hit all 3 provinces, or would you have taken 2?
Looking at the size of what Pan has available to them in their adjacency to Marignon's cap, as well as Satis's armies that were there last turn, if I had a scout, I would have moved out to take as many as I could to prevent vulturing.
Dude, let's throw this to Grippa. Grippa, this force right here versus what you see at Marignan, do you think that's scary enough that... Because I agree with Novelle on this province and this province, but this province, do you think that these 2 armies fighting against each other, do you think it would have come out well for Pan?
I don't think Mari was going to come out and attack him. If I was in that Pan player, Mari's kind of been sitting in that cap for a while now. He hasn't even raided to the provinces to the north there that have nothing in there. So I wouldn't have been too worried of him coming out to fight that one. So I would have attacked it.
Great job, by the way. I gave you 2 options, and you went with the 3rd option. And I think that yours is actually better than either of my options. I think you're right. I think Marignan would have stayed in here. I think they will stay in here the rest of the game. Do you think that's the right play, Grippa?
As a connoisseur of doing that, no, it almost never is.
Why not?
You don't gain anything. Like, you end up in this... If he's thinking anything that I end up thinking at times, which has come back to haunt me, he's thinking, as long as I'm not out, I have a chance. But that's not really true for Dominions. This isn't like Mario Kart, where, just because you're in 12th place doesn't mean you're not going to get, a lightning bolt and catch all the way up. If you're not at least at minimum holding steady, you are losing. So that is definitely one of the things that you have to learn to avoid. I'm not saying that's what Mari's thinking, but that's what I have thought in several games that I have been known to be Mr. Capital only. So it's something important to keep track of.
I loved your allusion to Mario Kart too, because my son just got a Switch and he's got Mario Party, and like in those games, your goal is to either be so far in front that nobody can catch you, but you never ever want to barely be in first, because they've got mechanics that will let the last place player get into first. Dominions is not like that. Now, Gaslov, you got into the front. Do you think that this was like that? This is the proper strategy, is to race out in front as fast as you can, or do you think that this is kind of the common thing? You race out in front, and then everybody kind of teams up on you.
In my experience, racing out to the front just gets you murdered. And I think that was a message I sent out pretty early in the game to you, just to document what was going to happen. And it did happen. You don't want to get coalitioned against, turn 20, because you are going to probably lose.
Now, Mandar, we talked about the Mario Party, Mario Kart mechanic of giving you abilities to let the last place player win. Does Dominions have those? Is that why you don't want to be in front?
Now, hang on a minute. You want to be in front in Dominions. I completely disagree with Gaslov. It's better to be coalitioned than to be coalitioning. Because at least when you're being coalitioned, you're the big guy, you have a chance to fight that off. But if you're in the coalitioning team, you have a much lower chance of winning. Being big just means that you need to have good diplo. Dominions does not really have Mario Party mechanics. This isn't a game of Civilization where you can sort of build up and then come from behind. This is more like Katamari, where you are a big blob and you have to get bigger and bigger and bigger at an exponential rate.
Now, I'm glad that we clarified that Dominions is more complex. Mandar, to follow up on that, let's say that there's no diplomacy. Nobody's allowed to talk to anybody. Would you want to be in first place?
Yes, I would still want to be in first place. I would want to be in first place even more because that would reduce the odds of getting coalition.
Gaslov, no diplomacy whatsoever. The rule is no talking to anybody. Would you want to be in first place?
In every strategy game I've ever played, board games, online, it doesn't matter. You don't want to be the leading target, because the leading target always gets killed. You want to be the guy who is very strong but appears weak, that people don't see you as a threat. Because in a game like Dominions, your neighbors absolutely can cause both of you to lose.
I love how you said, to be strong, but to not look strong. And I think that Scolaria has done a wonderful job of that, of embodying what you just said. Now, oh man, I just had a line of thought and I just completely lost. Okay, and what's interesting about this is that Dominions has a balance, but it's not within the nations. I think that Scolaria is incredibly overpowered compared to other nations. And what I like about this is that one of my favorite sayings about Dominions is that the balance is in the multiplayer. If you have a 1v1, it is not a balanced game. But the balance comes when you start doing the diplomacy. Let's move into...
No, you gotta stop it with this Aether Nomad talk. That guy he dumps in super powerful globals and stuff, and he's like, no, it's totally balanced because other people can pool all of their gems to dispel it. No, knock that off.
Novelle, I want your opinion on this. How balanced do you think that Airmore is as a nation?
Balanced? Okay, so I'm going to break that down into two terms. Balance and then strong. Airmore is not balanced. Airmore is incredibly asymmetrical. Airmore doesn't play like any other nation in the game. It even doesn't even play like Lemuria or Therados. Airmore is one of the most like single-minded, focused nations ever, because it only wants one thing, and everything else is tetry. It's not even secondary; it's tetry. It wants death gems, and with those death gems, it can do almost anything. It can evocate, battlefield wipe. It can summon. It can buff its troops. It can
Would
do.
you say that it's strong, or would you say that it's balanced? So you said it's not balanced. Do you think it's strong?
I. What's the best way of putting it? Aramore is, in my opinion, weak. And the reason for that is because it's so single-minded that the counters for it are ubiquitous and they always work. Like, unlike Scaleria, because Scaleria has the option to dual face, you can say, oh, all right, well, I'm going to go and attack Scaleria. Scaleria's going to have a giant horde of skeletons. It's early. I'm going to use Earthquake. And even if they're not fully skeleton, and if they're skeleton and Retarii, I'll at least wipe all the Retarii out in this battle using Earthquake. Well, Scaleria can walk up to you with an entirely human army and then proceed to function as per normal. Aramore doesn't have the option to do that. Aramore consists of majority 5 to 6 HP long dead with pretty moderate stats, slightly better than humans. It is not feasible for Aramore to adjust in the way that Scaleria does because it can't gain access to some of the things Scaleria has. Like, for instance, a plethora of Astral Mages to prevent magic duel. Or it can't basically recruit a lot of independents either because it doesn't get gold.
Okay, so let's move into the next turn because I want to get into today so we can start getting the next game up and running. I do want to note Pan has started to raid with Maenads, which is really interesting. We also have the end of that little forest right there that I think you negotiated. Gaslov, you negotiated to allow this access to get out, right?
Yeah.
and then it face planted against Aramore, so that's awesome. We have a major fight between Ulm and Scaleria, and the poor Ashdodian pretender dies once and for all. So I do want to get into. I want to watch the. Sorry, guys. Let me actually just pull up the screen, and there's going to be a fight right here. Okay, so this is the big Ulm versus Scaleria. At this point, if Ulm loses this, it's game over for him. This is his largest army. And we know that what's his face? Scaleria has mass flight. Mandar, how would you rate this formation versus mass flight?
All of their mages are right behind. They're going to get immediately destroyed. They needed a block formation. They needed bodyguards. The skeletons are going to land behind the formation, the wall of troops. And you see that wall of mages? That's all surface area they're going to get immediately destroyed. Like, as soon as the skeletons land, 70% of the mages are dead.
Okay, I want to hit on surface area next. But what about these Black Knights? Won't they just take all of the skeletons?
Nope. Hang on. Can you show me how many skeletons there are again? Just like, so that we can
There are many.
Yeah.
There are many. Do you want me to start counting?
Even if every single skeleton aims for those Black Knights behind the mages, there's still going to be so many that the blob around the Black Knights is going to reach up to the mages and still kill them.
I agree, the blob's going to be so big.
If all the skeletons aim for the troops way in front, the blob is still going to be so big that they're going to land and hit the mages. There is no way, and that's assuming, like, best case scenario, every single skeleton aims for, like, far away from the mages. It's still a big enough blob to just eat all of the mages too.
Okay, let's talk because let's talk surface area because I have taught math classes before and my kids always tell me, where am I ever going to use this? And I would like to tell you right now that all that stuff that you learned in math class, we're going to learn some of it right now. What do you mean surface area? What does the surface area matter between a large rectangle and a square?
How How many enemies can hit you versus how many dudes can you have hit the enemy?
Okay, so what's better for Ulm in this situation, square or the rectangle?
Square would be better because, as it is, it's a long line. Skeletons are going to land behind them. Skeletons are going to land on the sides. Skeletons are going to land in front. And then you have the corners kind of exposed. The corners will collapse and it'll sort of chain down. If they had been a big square, they would still have 4 corners. Well, actually, it's a surface area to mass ratio thing here, actually, because you'd still have the same corners if you were in box formation. The concern is that your mages are exposed.
What's interesting about this is that if you have a box formation, especially if you put the box of mages and the box of troops all in the same big box, of course the bodyguards are the better solution, just having, some troops right next to you. But having that box means that there's less surface area, so there's more troops that are safe. Right now, if we look at the troops that the skeletons can't get to, it's these guys right here. And I don't think he wants to protect these guys next to the mages. I think he wants to protect the mages. Not only that, but with I'm gonna roll it forward just a little bit, and we're gonna see his Legions of Steel. Because he's gonna get Earth Power. Luckily he hit everything, but if this was right here, he would have... No, he misses some of his troops with Legions of Steel, doesn't he? The yellow is Legions of Steel, is that correct?
No, yellow is Strength of Giants.
Okay, so yellow is Strength of Giants, so he misses guys with Strength of Giants, and he hits the mages with Strength of Giants. What's really interesting is, how do you counter flying skeletons? RCK, it's really awesome to have you here. I know that we got to see real quick that Ulm does win this battle. How does he beat you here with taking fewer losses? Because I'm guessing you're gonna murder his mages. RCK, I think your microphone might be off, so we're gonna send that over to Gaslov. Gaslov, how does he protect his mages then?
I am surprised that Ulm won this. Are you sure?
Oh yeah, they did.
Was Mass Flight involved?
Yes. In fact, why don't we move it? Let's just move it forward. Okay. Oh no, Mass Flight was not involved. That is how he did it.
That explains it.
Do you think that he would have lost this with Mass Flight?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so this was a front-to-back battle, and that's why he was able to be successful.
Yeah, this was one of the last Ulmich wins before
you said
the game ended.
hey, Ballin, good to have you with us. Dude, just a curiosity, do you think that Ulm is a good matchup versus Scaleria still?
Absolutely not. This late in, all money is on Scaleria. He's had 30 turns to sit by himself and pick up and make skeletons. He's unkillable for One Nation now.
RCK, did you get your microphone working? Please let me know when you did, by the way. Novelle, you're my skeleton master until we can get RCK's microphone working. How big of a loss was this for him?
For Scaleria, not really a loss at all. It's not too important. So the biggest issue here is that it's just a burnt turn. That's the most unfortunate thing here. Other than that, he really shouldn't have had to deal with losing these undead. It's not even about loss of units, because this is going to get replaced in one turn. It's more so about losing those 5 thaumaturgists. As well as...
I love that you say that. And when you said asymmetrical before, if Ulm would have lost this battle... I mean, and we saw that he could have very easily have lost this battle. It would have been disastrous to him. I love that you could just throw these armies away at him. Other than that, we have the end of the War Elephants, which was a huge deal. Scaleria is trying to get the envelopment on Ulm, and it looks like it's working. Ulm is trying to run away at the same time, and I don't think that there's a major battle other than that. Did we have another major battle? Did you guys see one?
No, I think that about covers it.
Oh, look,
Okay,
my
turn
army
attacks
was
Ashdod.
able to move too.
Oh yeah,
It
I
is.
actually ran over. I think some retreating Almish units. I think some Almish units that were retreating out of van. I just accidentally ran over them.
So how scary is this divine glyph, Balin?
I mean, considering we just watched it die, its only real defense is that it's ethereal, and it's got a couple of annoying shields to deal with, like Fire Shield and the Eye Vengeance.
He's got relief, rigor mortis.
I
This
was-
some.
I was a little scared about this guy.
Okay, I
was-
should have asked Grippa. Grippa, how scary is this guy?
I hadn't seen anything about him, and I didn't think he had much research, so I wasn't too terrified. But I still kept my casting up just in case.
How long did this battle take to script?
I spent about 15 minutes going, do you think I could just kill it? And that's what I did.
So 15 minutes and 3 hits later. Why? Because like, don't get me wrong, dude. I would have spent 15 minutes at least, maybe even as high as an hour, scripting this battle. Just a curiosity, why is it that we spend so much time? And I'm gonna go with Grippa on this because I feel Grippa, you and I are of one thought on this. Why do you spend so much time scripting against a pretender?
Because I don't know what to expect. And also because I was on camera and was like, they're going to watch me fail this shit and Bowen's going to be laughing for fucking 3 hours. So that was in my mind. So I wanted to make sure I didn't completely fail. I still got a Markmaster killed. Don't ask me how. But, you know, I was...
Oh, go ahead.
I knew it was a Hellbless, so I figured he had high paths, and I just didn't know what else he would be... I didn't know what he'd be casting.
What I love, Grippa, is in my brain, like, this screen is reversed, where it says, like, Divine Glyph, 347 kills, and all the right side is just death, death, death. In, like, not only is it embarrassing, it's also one of your major armies. And that, to me, is when going back to, like, player morale and anxiety... that's what gets me are these little battles that could go so wrong.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, guys, we're gonna end on that note. Actually, you know what, Balin, going against a pretender, should you be stressing out or should you not be stressing out?
I mean, it's a divine glyph, and he's been AI, and Van killed him turn 20, so I wouldn't be worried about anything.
Do you think there was still a possibility that some big magic came out and wiped his whole army?
No, not at all. You watched how many times Ashdod got capped before Gaslov finally took it? It was not a fun time.
Okay, guys, we're gonna leave on that one. Balin, thanks for joining us.
No worries.
Gaslov, again, thanks for joining us with us.
Yep, anytime.
Grippa, thanks for being a partner in my paranoid fears.
Absolutely, every day.
Mandar, my good-looking friend, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Novelle, thank you for especially for giving us some of the RCK substitutions here, letting us know. Thanks for letting us know about that stuff.
Oh yeah, man, happy to help.
And RCK, I know we can't hear you. I did want you to know that you mentioned in the chat that you were scared of us criticizing some of your moves, and I want you to know that was 100% justified. We went over some of your moves last time, and so Thanks
We
for
roasted
being
you.
here so we could pull some punches for this one. So
We raked you
hope-
over the coals.
What's that? Sorry.
We raked you over the coals, RCK.
100%. It was entertaining. But we had to pull the punches now that you're in, and hopefully we'll get your microphone going for one of the future episodes. So, guys, thank you for joining us, and I will catch you in the good one, or then I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.